What happens when a dirty bum meets the filthy rich?
There goes the
The smash comedy hit, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Starring Nick Nolte, Bette Midler, Richard Dreyfuss.
I ate garbage last night.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel called Blast and the Past, and today I have another DVD review. This time it's a cult classic in some circles at least, Down and Out in Beverly Hills, starring Nick Nolte as the protagonist, as the titular Down and Out bum as they call him. Stay tuned.
Barbara, is that the new pool man?
Alright, so let me read the short description of this film. Rescued from drowning in the swimming pool of a novo-rich Beverly Hills couple, Richard Dreyfuss, Bette Midler, a down-on-his-luck man, Nick Nolte, brings startling and hilarious changes to the entire household, including the family dog, Matisse, Mike the dog, in an uproarious screen debut, expertly directed by Paul Mazursky and featuring a stellar cast and a great hit song performed by the legendary Little Richard. You will be up and laughing at this outrageously funny, critically acclaimed smash hit comedy. So that's it.
I've been seeking, I've been searching.
To be honest, it's been many years, even maybe decades, since the last time I saw this film on the television, and I can't really say whether I liked it or not the first time around. I appreciated the cast. I didn't even remember that Richard Dreyfuss was in this film. I only remembered Nick Nolte and only some pieces of the plot here and there, but I didn't know exactly what I was signing for when I decided to rewatch it. I knew that it had pretty high ratings on IMDb and other websites, around 7, so this is out of 10, pretty respectable score. I was pretty sure that I was in for quite a ride. If anything, so at least that would be the worst case scenario, a walk down memory lane, so a bit of a nostalgic trip. A blast from the past, why not?
Oh my God!
He's gonna give that dog fleas.
And as per the description featured on the back cover of this film, it's about a down-on-his-luck guy. So this is the character played by Nick Nolte, and he's a homeless person. He has only his favorite loyal companion, a dog, and the dog is missing one night. And he's looking over Beverly Hills for his dog, and he finds himself in a mansion, in a villa, a mansion of a very rich family. So this is Richard Dreyfuss and Bette Midler. I hope I'm not butchering the surname. And
Bette Midler.
What's sex like?
they are a problematic family, so they have a problem with their son, with their daughter as well, and also there is a problem in the relationship because it's a pretty stormy, a rocky one, and Richard Dreyfuss, so his character is cheating on his wife. His wife is not interested in her husband, rather more in yoga classes and just spending her time on doing nothing. And here comes this titular down and out guy, down on his luck, homeless person, and he wants to drown himself in their swimming pool. And Richard Dreyfuss, his character, decides to run to his rescue. He helps him, he resuscitates him, brings him back to life, and then he develops some special bond and fondness in terms of this guy.
Call 911! Call 911!
Oh my God! David!
This homeless person, and he introduces him to the business. He teaches him the ropes of that, and I would say that it's a pretty wacky comedy. It's pretty crazy. So he enters their boring, tedious lives, and he changes their lives completely. From this grey existence, daily grind and routine, he turns it topsy-turvy, completely upside down, whether it's for the better or for the worse, so it's for you to see. I'm not gonna spoil it, but trust me, he's a womanizer, he's a ladies' man, and there are 2 ladies in the house. So you can figure that something may be in the air, and love is in the air, or perhaps not. I think that you should see it with your own eyes. To be honest, this is not this kind of comedy that you burst out laughing every second scene. It is okay, it has some funny scenes, but I would say that the biggest advantage of this film, especially in the hindsight, is its climate of Beverly Hills from the 80s, because the film was released either in 1986 or 87, but still in the 80s, and I think in the late 80s, And Paul Mazursky, the director of this motion picture, catches the climate of the Beverly Hills straight from the 80s perfectly. So it oozes out of the screen. You can feel like you are there, like you are, surrounded by palm trees and living with those novoricious, with their problems, which to us seem superficial, to us mere human beings, commoners. And this is the elite of the elites of America, of the States. So very lavish, luxurious life. They have everything, whatever they want, on a whim.
Give the dog a hug. He needs reassurance, needs to be held, needs to be touched. Come give him a hug. Give me a break.
They have different kinds of problems. And Nick Nolte, so he's this kind of stranger with a little bit shady, checkered past, and this is a nice nod to Nick Nolte's private life. Because in private life, he was also accused of falsifying some documentation, military, army documentation, and he was in trouble, in a pickle. And his character also has some checkered past of this sort. So this is a nice nod, a reference to Nick Nolte, who is not ashamed of that, because people make mistakes, it's pretty obvious. But the point is to overcome them and to learn from those mistakes. So anyhow, and like he's supposed to be a great, famous Hollywood writer, and he was rubbing shoulders with the elites, with a creme de la creme of Hollywood, allegedly in the past. This is his version, but they buy it. Richard Dreyfuss buys it, Betty Midler, her character, so she's reluctant at first, but then she develops a liking towards our titular homeless person. They call him a bum, but it's pretty derogatory.
You're a writer? I'm just a bum.
You look more like a millionaire.
Oh, well, it's better than a hobo, I think, still. They never call him like that in this meaning, but they say he's a bum. And fortunately, the film never drags, so you don't feel that maybe the plot, the pace could be a little bit sped up. The pacing is okay, and it flows naturally, so I always keep saying that and repeating that there needs to be some flow, some rhythm to the film. It needs to move smoothly from one scene to another, from one subplot to another, and this is okay, it's not all over the place. Although there are many subplots, so there's their troubled son, who has some identity problems, there is their daughter with maybe some body dysmorphia or maybe an eating disorder, and she goes to a different state, if I'm not mistaken, to study or to have a job. But then they have a family reunion, so everybody is there, and one of their neighbors is played by Little Richard, the famous singer and composer and a pianist, and he's a virtuoso of piano, and in this film, so he also presents his skills, and there is a nice soundtrack provided by him as well. It's even mentioned here. Yeah, so a great hit song performed by the legendary Little Richard. So it's a pretty wacky comedy. Maybe it's too wacky, too crazy, too chaotic, a little bit for its own good, but I would say that they never go overboard with that. And like I keep saying, like I've mentioned, this atmosphere of the 80s and Beverly Hills, the luxurious surroundings, the neighborhood, the place in probably commoners like myself will never be able to afford, and this is great. So you can be immersed, you can enter this world for roughly 1.5 hours and feel like you are there, like you live in those big luxurious houses or you are surrounded by them, so you can take in the atmosphere and enjoy it. And the nice throwback to the 80s also, because there are no cell phones. If there are some primitive ones, and old cars and this old type of lifestyle, still at a very high pace, because this is typical of novoriches, of people who are businessmen. So they never stop, they never cease in their actions, because time is money, money makes the world go around, and money makes money, and this is their kind of lifestyle. But Nick Nolte's character shows them that they can take a step back, have a look at the bigger picture, enjoy their lives, enjoy the relationship, and also the company of each other and one another. So there is a nice positive message to that.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
I'm so glad to be back in the real world again.
And about technical aspects, so this is it says this is the widescreen format, but it's 1:85:1, so actually this is full screen. Maybe I'll just play it. Why not? See? So it should be full screen. I'll try to skip it, and I can't. Yeah, so as you can see, so they say it's widescreen, the format, the screen format, 1:85:1, but so far it seems that this is full screen. So I love this full screen. You see, there are no margins unless it's artificially zoomed, maybe only some small bars here and there, but I love it. Because when you have some aerial shots, like even this one, it's taken from a perspective, from distance, it shows the whole city. So those establishing shots, aerial shots, so they are always great because they present the whole either a landscape or panoramic view of, especially in this case, of Beverly Hills. So these are just streets, but you can notice this atmosphere oozing out of the screen, and you take it in, and you feel like you are really in the center of this action, of the plot. And even the font, again, it's pink like Beverly Hills, with this great climate. Richard Dreyfuss, I was surprised to see his name here. I hadn't remembered that he was there. And we have a nice title, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. This is his loyal companion who gets lost. And little Richard, he gets, I think, the fourth billing on the list. Okay, and Nick Nolte, and this is a little bit a sad thing because right now, so he looks a little bit like that. It was only a role because
You know, Bryson, I wasn't actually hiding this. I wasn't lying about being dry either.
many people, many women say that he was a very handsome guy. And one time even I think he was featured on a list of the sexiest men alive. And for example, in this comedy, so I Love Trouble with Julia Roberts. So although he had glasses on his nose, he looked like a handsome guy, I think. So he was, a love interest of Julia Roberts in that film. They were enemies yet lovers, if I remember correctly the plot. And here,
He's an award-winning newsman. Nick Nolte.
Put your seatbelt on, Peterson.
I Love Trouble. On Nancy.
it's stranger than fiction, actually. We could say life is stranger than fiction. That currently, so he's a little bit down on his luck, Nick Nolte. I think that he's trying to recover, to come back, because, well, he is an alcoholic, so he is addicted to alcohol, but he decided to fight it, this addiction. So he's on his way back. I hope so. So I wish him good luck, really, because addiction is a horrible thing, like Jean-Claude Van Damme and cocaine, and he admits to it, but he's overcome it, and I hope that Nick Nolte will overcome it as well. So I hope for the best in this case. Oh, you see those great villas, mansions, whatever you call them. Wow, I wish I could afford a house like this ever in my life. Don't you think so? And it's based on a play, on some French play. So this is even more interesting. And that play was adapted by Paul Mazursky, and he directed the film. Or as they, actually the pronunciation should be not Paul Mazursky, but Paul Mazursky, right? Maybe, perhaps. Okay guys, to sum up this short review, I think it's worth watching, worth coming back to in case you have seen it before, and especially for the atmosphere, for the climate of the 80s and Beverly Hills. I can't say that it will be my favorite film, because certainly it will not, but probably I will keep coming back to it. Maybe not regularly, but still like every 5 years. For Nick Nolte, for the cast, for the chemistry between the protagonists, between the actors and actresses, especially Richard Dreyfuss and Nick Nolte, and Bette Midler. So they have this perfect chemistry, and they pour their hearts into their performances. So it is very noticeable in a good way on the screen. And also Paul Mazursky's directorship, so him as a director, he does his best. There are great shots, great sequences, it's very well filmed, and he captures the magic of the 80s, that cinema, and Beverly Hills, the States, the Novo-rich neighborhoods. So, definitely, highly recommended. What more can I say? I hope that you will decide to watch it. And even though it's not released on Blu-ray, maybe it will be, maybe it won't, but I think that it's a Touchstone production, so I think that it may be problematic. But at least we have DVD, and it's a serviceable quality, nothing fancy, nothing great, So I've seen better DVDs in my life, but I've seen worse as well. So it's above average, which is fair enough. And it's good enough.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Now at the Video Show Place. There's no place like the Video Show Place.
So guys, thank you very much for your time. I hope that you have liked this short review of Down and Out in Beverly Hills with Nick Nolte, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers!